This is the Bestarc BTC500DP 9 Gen. Over here to my far right is a 3/4 inch thick piece of steel. What I'm going to find out today is if an entry-level plasma cutter can cut through 3/4 inch steel. So stick around to find out here on Southpaw Workshop. The BTC500DP 9 Gen is very similar to the BTC510 Gen that I have reviewed earlier. Mostly the differences lie within the user interface on the front panel. But with it, you're going to have the same functionality, the same performance. It's a 220 and 110 machine, so it automatically switches between voltages based on what it's connected to. In today's video, I'm actually going to install a 220 outlet so I can use this 220 plug to run this machine. I also intend to try to cut through a variety of materials, and I'm starting out on the thicker side of things just because I am running this in 220 and I know it can handle the thicker stuff. And it will all culminate with me attempting to cut this 3/4 inch plate steel that I've had sitting around my shop for forever. So we'll see if we can at least make a dent in it. We'll find out. The BTC500DP comes with your usual accessories. Obviously it comes with the unit itself. It comes pre-plumbed for your air connection. So if you use quick connect fittings on your airlines, it'll already be ready to go. It comes with a ground clamp, it comes with a torch, it comes with an adapter that adapts it from 220 to 110. They give you a short piece of air hose that I guess you're encouraged to use if you don't currently have anything. However, I would suggest you have something else already set up to use this. It comes with a small wrench and then some consumables. The user interface is fairly straightforward. It will automatically detect the input voltage of the machine. The fan light will come on when the fan is running. It does have a warning light to let you know that there's a problem. You can select between 2T and 4T mode on the trigger, which just gives you a little bit more control on how the trigger works for you. There's a button to check to make sure that the air is hooked up and flowing through your machine. The post time and pilot arc time are both adjustables between 3 and 15 seconds. So it gives you a little bit of adjustability between the pilot arc time and the post time. It does have a pressure readout, so you can dial in that air pressure to get the cuts as clean as possible. And then the main readout here just tells you what current you're running at the amount of power that you're using to cut through your material. If you'd like a more comprehensive review on all of the functions of one of these Bestarc plasma cutters, you can check out my other Bestarc plasma cutter review video. I'll link it up in the cards and down in the description, and it goes over each one of these features in much more detail. Today, I'm going to demonstrate this plasma cutter in operation, and then I will let you know my thoughts about it at the end of the video. As you can see, when I built this shop, I put in a 30 amp breaker. However, at the time, I only wired it for a 20 amp outlet. And this has been running my air compressor. But I ran 10 gauge wire, which is the right rated wire for 30 amps. And now I'm going to replace this outlet with the correct 30 amp outlet. Okay, full disclosure, this is a 50 amp outlet, but I'm running a 30 amp breaker on it. One of my frustrations with this unit is that it's a little ambiguous about the amount of power it requires. It does say 50 amps, but doesn't really specify if that's the input power or the output power, because those will be different. It doesn't really give you any specifications for wiring other than the, this plug right here that points you towards a 50 amp breaker. My main concern with that is that the wire that this cord is made from is 3.31 millimeters squared, which translates to about 12 gauge. You're not going to get 50 amps through 12 gauge. So there's a little bit of a mismatch there. That's why I settled on 30 amps, because a 30 amp breaker requires 10 gauge, and so I'm going from 10 gauge to 12 gauge. That's a lot better than going from the 8 or 6 gauge required for 50 amps to 12 gauge. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get full power out of this. We're going to find out how long the breaker lasts on full power. My feeling is that it's going to work just fine on full power at 30 amps, but that's what we're going to find out right now. So here, this is pretty straightforward what we're going to do. This is about 3/16 right here. This is 1/4 inch right here. And then we're going to jump from 1/4 inch straight up to 3/4. I don't have anything bigger or in between 3/4 and 1/4. So I would try 1/2 inch if I had it, but I don't. I'm not even going to bother with the sheet metal. I think it's, obviously if it's going to cut something like this, it's going to cut the sheet metal. I'll go ahead and do a plunge like I have done in the past on the 1/4 inch, but I don't expect it to struggle doing that as well. So let me get her set up and then we'll get started. Okay, so you know the safety drill, right? I've got my gloves on, I'm wearing my welding helmet, I have a leather jacket on, and I'm wearing, can't really see them, I'm wearing leather shoes. I've got a fire extinguisher right next to me over here, and so we are ready to go. This is 3/16. Don't want to sound cliche, but that went through like butter. And that was turned up all the way. I didn't even think to adjust the volt or the amperage. I could have done that with less amperage. That's why it blasted through that so violently. But that's fine. We will move on to the 1/4 inch. Right here. You're attached to my vise, so we're moving with it. If I can get a good grip there. There we go. I'm actually going to turn it down a little bit. Okay, so I just made a bunch of attempts to do this without the ground clamp on, and I guess I just found out what happens when you don't have the ground clamp on. It actually tries to cut. It does a pretty good job, but it doesn't cut all the way through. So that would explain it. I'm going to turn the machine back down to 35 amps is what the recommended amperage is for this thickness. And let's give it another shot. I'm going to try plunging first and then I'll cut. Yeah, plunging is no problem now that I've got the ground clamp on. Alright, you see it handled 1/4 inch just fine. I'm sure the camera angle isn't the greatest, but you saw it come off. That's all that matters. Okay, so now the final test is 1/2 inch. I think what's going to end up happening is if I get anywhere with it, it'll just because I'll be using it more like a gouge tool instead of an actual plasma cutting tool. And I'm sure gouging with a plasma cutter is really hard on the consumables and it's not efficient, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. I'm going to turn up the amps all the way to 50. I'm going to turn the air up to 70 because it suggests overdriving the air when you're doing something thicker than what it's rated for, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so I think you have your answer. Let's try to get a close up here. So there you go. Will it cut 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch? No, it won't. And it's not rated for 3/4 inch. So the expectation should not be for 3/4 inch. I think the absolute maximum that this is rated for is 16 millimeter, which is somewhere around 5/8, but that's not getting clean cuts. You know, I think 1/2 inch is your safe max limit there. But I mean, it almost got all the way through, and so I'm not wanting to push this thing too hard. I'm not wanting to push my electrical system harder than it needs to be, but it definitely did almost everything, and it gave the 3/4 inch a good college try. Alright, so after playing around with this and testing some things, what are my thoughts? This is, again, the Bestarc BTC500DP Gen 9. It's a great machine. It does exactly what it says. So if you are interested in getting into plasma cutting and not spending a ton of money, and your needs are for cutting material less than 1/2 inch thick, which for most people, I think that's most normal situations, right? I think this would be a good choice for you. The only difference between the Gen 9 and the Gen 10 that I can tell is that besides the user interface, the Gen 10 also has a what they call, I believe they called it a wire cutting function, which allows you to maintain your arc while you're cutting through perforated steel or like that expanded steel where it's hitting a lot of holes and losing its continuity. So it kind of hangs on longer, so you're getting through stuff like that. So in my opinion, these Bestarc machines are great machines, and this one is no exception. It definitely punches above its weight class. Like I said, for the price, you're getting a very capable machine. It comes with consumables. It's ready to go right outside the box. It comes with the adapter, so you can use it. If you don't have that 30 amp circuit that I have for 220, you can run it on 110. And as you've seen in my previous reviews, the 110 function, it works just as good. It just may not have the greatest duty cycle at 110, or you may not get the maximum performance out of it. But I cut 1/4 inch easily on 110. And so again, this is based on your use case. This could be exactly what you're looking for. If you're interested in learning more about the Bestarc BTC500DP Gen 9, I will leave a link in the description down below, along with links to other review videos and reviews of other Bestarc products. I've been pretty satisfied with everything I've used of theirs so far. So if you're interested, you can check those out as well. Thanks everybody for watching, especially those of you that come all the way to the end. You guys are the real ones. I thank you guys very much, and I will see you in the next one.